Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look at the new Poipole which got released, and you can actually run this Pokemon in the Open Great League. And so this is exactly what we're going to do here today. We're going to waste a ton of rare candy and Stardust on this Pokemon, and if you enjoy this, feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you have not already. But honestly, I was hoping to get one win with this Pokemon, and by the title you most likely already know, it went actually way better. This team went 7-3 again, basically like the Tapu Koko yesterday as well, and for good reason. Honestly, Poipole was actually a lot of fun, and you're going to see a lot of really cool matchups for this Pokemon, so definitely stay tuned for this, as Poipole is of course a little bit of a spicier pick. You're going to have access to Poison Jab, which is going to be great. Other fast move is going to be Peck, which you definitely don't really want to run, but you're going to have access to Stinger, which is going to allow you to do, basically to boost your own attack, plus having an option to bait the opponent. And this came in clutch a lot of times, because the cool thing is, nobody knows the moveset of Poipole. Like, literally, nobody knows it. And so everybody's going to try to use the first shield on this Pokemon, because they don't really know what moveset it has, and they don't really want to get nuked by it. And so we can just then bait with Stinger and win. But let's take a look at this game. We're going to have the Lantern. We can farm them all the way down here with our Poipole. In comes the Dragonair. We can farm them all the way down, double kill Poipole, and in the back there's going to be the Vigoroth lurking for us, so we can go for another charge move here. Big Sludge Bomb coming through, going to do a ton of damage, and we can swap out trying to catch a Body Slam onto the Skarmory. Did not work out, but it does not really matter anyway, as the opponent goes for the Rock Slide. Going to get me low enough that they can farm me down, but Poipole can still get to another move. Alright, let's see if we can still survive a move from the opponent's Vigoroth. We can, and so we can go for the not even the Stinger, just the farm down and get a triple kill with Poipole in the first game. So, this kind of showcase again, this Pokemon actually has quite a lot of potential. We're going to have here the next opponent with an Annihilate. Lead of Credilli was very decent for us. Annihilate can be a little bit tricky. I have to say, I definitely still have to build a new Annihilate. Annihilate is definitely benefiting quite a bit from an attack weight, which we don't have on ours, and also the CP is really bad on mine as well. But I still have to get a better one for it, but definitely Annihilate, you kind of really want to have an attack weight. Here's a little bit of an issue for this team, which is going to be the Skeledirge. Skeledirge is going to be able to core break my lead as well as the Poipole in the back. Neither of them going to be really having a great time here. But at least, as you're gonna see as well, I can use a shield, the opponent swaps back out, and so I can keep one Shadow Ball for later, swap into my Skarmory against the opponent's Credilli. I have to take the neutral Rock Slide now, but we will see as well, the Rock Slide is not going to two-shot us actually, because we're gonna see as well, this one is going to not knock me out either. It's just going to barely not knock me out, and so we can go for another Sky Attack. Again, my voice is a little bit tricky right now, especially in the morning now, still, since I was sick, I'm still a little bit, under the weather. But let's take a look here at the next thing here. We're gonna see that Poipole is coming back in here, because I was expecting that they're gonna spam that charge move, and I want to not really risk a CMP tie. I think I would win a CMP tie, but I don't have to risk it. I can just go for one fast move, lock him into an Incinerate, go for a Shadow Ball, and win this game. Also, I really wanted to showcase my Poipole against the opponent. That was mainly one of the reasons why I went into it as well. But let's move on to the next opponent. Here it's going to be a little bit more of a tricky matchup again. We're going to have the Annihilate. Annihilate against the Skarmory is actually a fairly neutral matchup, and kind of more something I think that Annihilate wins in the two-shield scenario. And so we decided to swap out here. We use a shield onto this Shadow Ball, which was definitely the right call. And I decided to go for another shield here. I thought this was a little bit too fast for the Shadow Ball, but it actually wasn't. And so the opponent gets both of my shields, which is not really ideal, but I can spam at least Night Slash is the safer play than going for the Shadow Ball, because I guarantee damage and I guarantee either the knockout or the shield. Let's see what the opponent is going to do here. They're going to let this move go through, and we're going to get the boost, and this boost is going to come in clutch, because now we're going to do way more damage against the opponent's Lickitung as well, which is going to be great, as the opponent is going to have to take a huge Night Slash double boosted there. They can go for still a charge move. Maybe I should stop down to my Poipole though before trying to catch the Power Whip, but they're going to have in the back the Lantern, and this is going to be tricky, but here's exactly what I mean. The opponent does not know that my moveset is not as crazy strong, and they're gonna use a shield onto the Stinger, allowing us to buff our own attack. They go for the Thunderbolt, we can still survive, and we can reach the Sludge Bomb. Boosted Stab Sludge Bomb. Let's take a look at this one. Boom, going to destroy the Lantern, and so we can easily win this game, as the Lickitung has nowhere to go. Honestly, Poipole was way better than I expected. This Pokemon is just so much fun to play. Let's take a look at the next opponent. Great Lead Force, you're going to see the LilyNiRiain. I'm actually just going to go for the Brave Bird and then swap out because nobody's going to shield this one, and we kind of want to swap out anyway as we kind of still have to keep our lead alive. And so we can just take a Power Whip here. I don't really care too much, but we're going to get the opponent into a range where LilyNiRiain cannot really do anything. We're going to see the Surf Edge coming in. I decided to use a shield here. We lose CMP, like basically everything loses CMP against the Surf Edge. But what we can do here, even if they let this move go through, it's still going to two-shot them. So like Night Slash is going to be fine here. We're going to be able to go for another one. This should knock them out if they're not going to use a shield. And so let's see, they're going to let this move go through. So now they basically have one Pokemon left with two shields. And it's going to be for them the Annihilate. But I just need to get damage onto them. I don't really count on basically getting all the shields gone from the opponent. I just want to get damage. They're going to go for a charge move here as well. Is it going to be the Night Slash? It's going to be the Ice Punch, which is going to be way better for us because now they don't have a boost chance either, which would have been a little bit tricky for us. And also, Night Slash is the cheaper move, so it's going to be better for us that they're going to have the Ice Punch here. We can swap out into our Poipole again. Also, sorry for my voice, but it's still trying to recover. We're going to see here that we can still go for the full farm down, and now they're gonna still have two shields left. I can go for the buff on my attack because it's going to be very cool for us because Poison Jab is going to do way more damage now. They're gonna use a shield here, but as you can see, they're gonna go for a charge move. Unless it's a Shadow Ball, we can still survive. It's going to be the Ice Punch, easy survive, and we can farm them all the way down. Moving on, we're going to have a Skarmory Elite matchup. I always misplay those lead matchups. Honestly, I never really get them right, so definitely don't take it, don't do what I basically do here. I decided to go for the Sky Attack first, which I guess is not even the worst play, because the opponent's gonna decide to go ahead and go for a Brave Bird first, which is okay for us, because if we would win CMP now, we would have been fine. We don't win CMP, so I'm forced to use a shield, but they cannot even go to a Brave Bird here. I would have survived this anyway, so like this shield was completely nonsense. I shouldn't have done that, but yeah, we're at least gonna get the opponent low, but they're going to have a Sableye in the back, and yeah, Sableye is okay for our lead. It's very bad for our backline. Sableye is definitely tricky here. Usually you would play this team, by the way, with something in the back, like a Lostheart instead of the Poipole, and then Sableye would not be an issue, but because of how I adapted this team here, Sableye is going to be a core breaker for the entire team, basically. There's not really a Pokemon that we can, that can safely deal with it. I guess Skarmory is kind of neutral against it, but the rest is going to be very, very tricky for us, and so Poipole is still trying its best here. We're still going to try to go for the full farm down, but they can even reach a return here right now, which is going to be really bad. And so we decide to forfeit here. It's going to be a Dragonair in the bag. Moving on, we're going to have a Dragonair in the lead this time around, which is kind of funny. We're going to see as well that the opponent is going to go ahead and stay in here, which is going to be great for us. And as not the Shadow variant, it's going to be amazing for us because it can just take easily two of the opponent's charge moves while not having to shield, while being able to force shields from the opponent. So the opponent, if they want to win the lead matchup, they have to go two shields down, and I will take this, as we're going to see here as well. I'm going to let this next move go through as well. They're going to go for the Alcor Tail. Now they can decide if they want to go one or two shields down. Let's see, they're going to go for the switch advantage, which I'm totally okay with, because now I can just swap out into my Annihilate. I can go for the Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball is going to do some massive damage against the opponent. This is going to chunk quite a bit. Not going to be enough though, and now I kind of wonder if I would play Annihilate a little bit more often. Is it better to go for two Night Slashes? Is two Night Slashes going to be enough to knock out the Cresselia over the long run? I am not too sure. It would be something to research about because a Shadow Ball is not really cutting it. But we're going to still use a shield here because they went into the Dragonair, so I expect they're going to be weak against us in the back. And it's going to be the Bastion, which is going to be great for us, as we can just go ahead and go for the Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball is coming through, going to do some decent damage against them. And so we can try to go for a Night Slash as well. But of course, we have a Poipole review here. We kind of have a Bastion here. We have to BM them, right? So let's move on. Go into our Poipole. We can take a move from the opponent as well. Go for the 3-ball flex. Gonna go for also a Felt Stinger knockout from a Poipole against a Bastion, just to completely BM them. And this is going to be it for this game. Moving on to the next one. We're going to have a Very neutral lead, and I misplay this one. I misplay this one quite a bit, and this was the first battle that I did with this team, by the way, so kinda, yeah, I was not really too sure on how to play it all, and I misplay this really much, because, like, I should just stay in this matchup. I literally should just stay in this matchup. It's going to be a very decent matchup for me, but I decided, oh, I can maybe get some counter damage in, but they're gonna go for the charge move, and so they will be able to just align the Talonflame for no reason, and so we are in a really tough spot now. And this is going to be basically impossible to still win. We are one shield down. We have a Talonflame against us that is going to be able to even get to another move later on against our Skarmory as well. And yeah, they're going to farm me all the way down. We have now one shield against one shield, but the opponent is going to not use another shield here. So yeah, I can use my next shield as well, but they're going to be able to go for the flame charge. Going to be now shieldless. I can go for one charge move against them. And the issue is as well, they're going to go more slay back into the Sand Slash, which is going to be able to resist all my charge moves. Like, this is the issue. Like, my fast move is going to be neutral, but my charge moves aren't. And now we have a shield disadvantage. We have the opponent still with 2 Pokemon. I have like 2 Pokemon with the same health, and it's going to be my Poipole against a Poliwrath in the back. And I decided to go for the Feldstinger, because the opponent does not know what I have. And it worked. And so, there's one way of winning this game now, and this is if we don't get a debuff from Scald. And we don't. And can we actually still win this game with Poipole while being a shield down, while being in a tough matchup in general? We can knock them out here, and even we can knock out these Sand Slash with a Poipole. What a game. Next opponent, we're going to have a Deoxys defense against us, which again is something where I usually just go ahead and go for one Brave Bird and then dip. Brave Bird is going to put them insanely low, and yeah, I'm still going to have to shield no matter what, like with both of my Pokemon. Like Thunderbolt going to hit my lead, here of course the Psycho Boost going to hit my Annihilate, and they're going to swap out into the Altaria. If we had Ice Punches, would have been great here, but I decided to go for the Night Slash. They don't have to shield anything here, to be fair. But with Night Slash, I can kind of force them to at least get a lot of damage onto them, plus maybe let them think about using a shield here. And as you can see here, they're forced to go for energy, otherwise they're going to have to use a shield. And so they decide to go for the Sky Attack, which is a smart play by the opponent, but this is going to allow me to get a ton of energy onto my Skarmory, which is going to be great for me. The opponent's still going to have their Deoxys defense there in the back. We can go for the full farm now. They're going to swap out into the Deoxys here as well. As I can go ahead, go for the Sky Attack, gonna get the shield, and try to catch a Thunderbolt, which does not work out. And even worse, I don't sneak in the extra fast move, which means they can go for 2 Psycho Boost back to back. And I don't know if that's going to actually matter. I honestly don't think it really matters. I think I would still lose this game anyway, because they're going to have a Dugong in the back. I think if I played it differently, I could have won this game if I just stayed in the lead and tried to play it out. If I just went for the Sky Attacks the entire time in the lead and played it out, I think I still had a chance of winning this game. But I didn't, and so this is going to be sadly a loss here. A good game to the opponent, but again, could have been a win if I just played a little bit differently. Next opponent, this is going to be one of the toughest matchups of them all. The Jellicent in the lead is going to be a core breaker for my lead, as well as my say-swap of the Annihilate. Annihilate, of course, with energy up, going to be able to still deal with it, but it is going to be a tough one. Here they're going to go for the Shadow Ball immediately. I can go for the charge move as well, but I was counting my moves and I was like, I don't think that this is a Shadow Ball, and so I decided to let this move go through, and it was just the Surf, allowing me to reach a Brave Bird, and with this, I at least gonna get either a shield advantage or the knockout against the Jellicent, and I get the shield advantage here, which I don't really want to get. And they have a Gligar in the back, completely hard-walling me. But the good thing is as well, basically, both of the Pokemon that I don't want to face with my Poipole are already on the field, or like we're already on the field and kind of damaged, so maybe we can still do something with a Poipole in the back. But at the end of the day, what do you really do with a Poipole? Like, Poipole is just going to lurk there in the back and not really doing anything, right? So we can still go for a Shadow Ball. Here we had to use 2 shields because Poipole cannot deal with a Gligar. Our lead was a little bit too low for it. But they're going to go into the Jellicent, and they went too greedy. They went for the full farm down. They had energy. They would have been able to knock me out, but I can knock them out with 1 HP, and so it's a Guzzlord in the back. And I'm not too sure. Is it better to go for 2 Feldstingers, or is it better to go for 1 Sludge Bomb? But I know for sure that it's better to go for a catch, which definitely worked out amazingly here. And so I decided to go for the Feldstinger. Was this the right play here? Let's find out. We will see. We can still go for another Feldstinger now. Being super effective, being double buffed now. Let's see how this is going to go. Can we still farm them down? We can, and we can actually still win this game. Poipole was so much fun to play. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed me wasting my starters and my sets for today, because today the new season going to start. Top team video going to be out in like 3 hours or something as well, so stay tuned for this, and I see you then. Bye bye.